Hi there guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is Frag Pro Shooter, and what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about all the nerfs and buffs and a few little tweaks that have come in the latest Frag Pro Shooter update, which is the 2.22. Before we talk about the different, there's 5 characters in total, I believe, that have had nerfs. I think it's mainly nerfs and tweaks. Before we talk about it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that bell notification so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and taking us closer to 24,000 and then onwards to try and get to that 25,000, which is the landmark achievement that I'd be super happy to get. So with that being said, let's talk about the first of the characters, and the first character we're going to talk about is Cyber Agent. Now apparently Cyber Agent has the highest damage per second of any frag character, and I was totally unaware of this. I've never put Cyber Agent in the meta, so I'm assuming that maybe Cyber Agent was the meta card. But either way, he's no longer gonna. I don't think he's any longer going to be a meta card because they're nerfing him. Cyber Agent is getting a nerf. I quite like Cyber Agent. I didn't really use him very much though, purely because I thought that he wasn't as good as some of the other cards I'm using. I still stand by that really. A little bit slow. So what are they doing to his character? The main weapons damage per second is going to be reduced from 42.4 to 25.4, which is like a massive slash of damage reduction. That's the minimum damage per second. So it's a bit confusing. Minimum damage per second is going from 42 to 25. So that means to say that probably like a longer distance, instead of doing 42 damage, you're only going to be doing 25. So if you're trying to shoot someone at a longer distance, it ain't going to do much at all. You're going to need to get closer. Maximum damage is going from 79 to 42, which means, say, if you're nice and up close and personal and trying to do your maximum damage, that's going to be almost half the damage that it used to do, which is crazy. I mean, that to me, even if he was in meta, he ain't meta anymore. So you can write off Cyber Agent. He was good. In my opinion, that means that he's probably not any good anymore. So that's enough about Cyber Agent. The next character, oh, also his health points reduced from 191 to 160 as well, so he's easier to kill. Apparently they say it looks like a destruction, but he's still playable. Not sure about that myself. Let's go into the next character, which is Stella. Now Stella, I like Stella. Stella I think is very good, especially for payload, when you can fly from point A to point B really nicely, and her stars had a really good killing ability, and she was also fast. Not anymore. She's been nerfed. What is the nerfs we're looking at here? Now the speed, her speed of 15.46 kilometers per hour is being reduced to 11.6. So from being one of the fastest characters in the game, there's only sort of like 3, 4, maybe 5 characters that have got really, really good speed. Like Striker, I think it is one of another one I can think of off the top of my head. She's now going to be cast down into the slightly above average speed characters, which is really not very good at all. Minimum damage per second is going to be slightly buffed from 34.5 to 38.7. Average going from 34.5 to 38.7, and her maximum is going from 67.2 to 38.7. So her minimum, average, and maximum is being just blended into one lower figure, so an all-round averagey amounts basically. So if you're up close and personal, it's not going to do any more damage than if you're hitting someone far away with the stars basically. Ability, delay between shots from 0.5 to 0.3. So that means to say that, I take it from that her stars are going to be firing quicker. I think that's what it means. And there's some sort of changes in the damage of the stars, which I'm not sure. I don't quite understand that. But it's a nerf. The speed nerf alone is disappointing for me. Now the next card on our list out of the 5 is Duality. Now not everyone used Duality. I didn't use Duality. Duality had the potential to be one of the strongest cards in the game if you can use her really well. Some people might be able to use her really well. I haven't seen many people using Duality at all, not even in the pro ranks from when Duality, you know, all the time Duality's been around. I've not really seen her used. But she's been nerfed, so some people must have been using her successfully, but you can forget all that now because she's been nerfed. Changes below on this list that I've got here. Her speed of 13.5, so she was reasonably fast, dropping to 11.6, so she's being slowed down a bit, like, you know, the also rans again, you know, above average. Main weapon, so her minimum damage per second is going from 39.6 to 20.8. And her maximum from 45.8 down to 31. So they're basically, they're almost halving her damage overall from her minimum maximum. They're just going to be really not very good. Headshot multiplier is going from 2 to 1.4 for the blaster and 1 to 1.4 for the sniper. So a bit more damage for the sniping, but the blaster headshot is going to be reduced. So again, not very good. And then the marker's kill. Now you've got 4 potential demon essences that you can get if you've got the frag power, which gives you 4. Now the figures were 1.35. Now it's going to be 1.1 for getting the multiplier for getting 1 essence. Second essence is going from 1.3 to 1.2. And the third is 1.25 to 1.3. And the fourth is 1.2 to 1.35. So if you get 3 or 4, it's actually going up. So that's another strange one. And the next one on the list, there is another one. There's a hidden one that I don't think I've actually going to report on this video, which is Rolaf. I think Rolaf is being changed. I might have to do another video for Rolaf. I heard rumour that he's been changed into a melee character, but I never tested him out when I made this video. But that's, like I said, that's another video. You have to stay tuned on that one. You'll probably find it on other videos or on the Frag official site. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be maybe possibly a melee character, which would be interesting to see. Back onto the main characters. Mr. Doe is getting a buff. So what are they going to do with Mr. Doe's buff added. On activation, Mr. Doe receives a speed buff for the last 10 seconds and grants him a 1.5% speed, which will last him for 10 seconds. When getting out of his ability willingly, he deals 20% bonus damage for 3 seconds. So that is quite good, quite handy. That's going to boost him up the charts, but I don't think it's going to get him in the meta though. But it's definitely a handy little buff for Mr. Doe. And then, the last but not least, because I think this one's quite a useful one, this is a buff for Valkyria. It says on here, Valkyria suffers from a very low win rate compared to its damage. Trying to tweak her to get her back on her feet by tweaking her without changing her damage too much. So her damage per second is going to go from 39.9 to 40.5. So little tiny tweak on her damage. Main weapon now shoots faster bursts, so that might make it better on the DPS. Her ability is going from 4.5 seconds to 5.5 seconds, and I got a feeling that one of the frag pairs might make it last for even longer than that, maybe. I think that's what it is. So that's your 5 characters, and like I said, I think there's a 6th one with Rolaf. So some good stuff in there, apart from the fact that I'm very disappointed with the nerf for Stella in particular. And yeah, Cyber Agent, didn't even know about that. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, because that'd be super awesome. Shout out to my channel, Dominic M and Percy, and as always, if you want to help grow this channel to 25,000 subscribers and beyond, make sure you share today's video, and feel free to check out what will come along shortly. Bye for now.